going on? RGIJ is back, baby.
But every time you watch a movie, right? Every time you watch a movie and they get
It's
big, you're
always
like,
the fucking kids.
You're like, you
Always
dumb
the kids,
bitch, man.
yeah.
Every time you say, you dumb asshole, man. It's like, it's just, I love how they do it too. Like they look at it, they look shocked, and they just put it down. And you're like, you dumb fuck. And it's just,
yeah. But nowadays, it's mostly been about the kids. The kids fuck up everything.
They do.
Stranger Things, the fucking kids. For me, The Sopranos, the fucking kids. Any big time movie like Dexter, the serial killer show, the fucking kids. It's always the fucking kids that are always screwing everything up, and everything just falls apart. It's like Hollywood has come up with this thing to where it's like, you want to make a hit in a show or movie, just incorporate fucking dumb kids in there, and it'll be a hit.
Yeah, everybody gets
they're just going to
frustrated.
screw everything up. Yeah, everybody gets frustrated at them because they fuck everything up, and then shit goes bad. Parents die, other people die, and these fucking dumb kids live.
You know why they do that in Stranger Things though?
Why?
So you can forget the guy is 6'2" and he's like 26 years old. That's why they try to make you forget that he's fucking like a tall, skinny dude. He's just like, to make him. I haven't seen the end of the show, so I have no clue what's going on. But I seen that girl. He looks like a grown ass fucking man, like a grown ass dork, and they try to make him look like a 12-year-old. So
well, I mean, the main girl, she's like probably 17, 18. They're trying to make her look like she's 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Like, these kids are growing up way too fast. That's where they need it. And especially that they're still in the 1980s.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. You gotta speed it up. If you're going to do something else. That's one thing I hate about shows is that they'll leave the cliffhanger at the end and they don't come on for another year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you forgot everything because I was, there are times that I'd be like, oh, the show's back and it's like great, but how the fuck did it end last season? You know, because I waited a whole damn year to just finally see a new season, and you forgot everything because now you're starting to catch on to newer shows and everything else.
yeah, it's like Harry Potter. You watch that shit, and then next you're like, how the fuck? What? A year went by, and the motherfucker already got a goatee and shit. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't he just 12 years old, and the motherfucker's already in puberty? Like, wait a minute.
And they're doing a lot of spin-offs too. Like, for example, Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but that was one of the biggest like shows there was. Like, everybody in the world was watching Game of Thrones, right? Now it's no more. Now they have one that's coming out that's sort of a prequel to it that talks about the Dragon Queen. And now they're also coming out with another one that just talks about Jon Snow, who was one of the main characters in the show. So now they're doing multiple spin-offs, and everybody's like, great, but it's like, damn, like, when is it coming out? When are we going to be able to watch it and everything else? They just keeping people in suspense to see what's going to happen, and hopefully these shows come out. But it's like, how much more can you watch? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're doing a spin-off after spin-off after spin-off. It is like, when is it? So like me, I like Marvel shows because I grew up on comic books and Marvel characters. So when I see the shows like Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man, like, I really get pumped because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, even now that Disney Plus does these little Marvel series, I find them cool. Just like people who love the Star Wars. There are many Star Wars fanatics out there that love these little, like, right now they just finished the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which was pretty awesome because you don't really see much of that side of Darth Vader and him and everything compared to what you saw throughout the theaters. And then they did another one for The Mandalorian, gave his side. They did one about Boba Fett, gave his side. So those little things are cool, But it's crazy, these shows.
I'm sorry, I just blacked out. You went fucking total nerd, and I was like, what are we talking about now? I just heard, like, Obi somebody. I was like, wait, what? Like, and then you started going into shit? Like, I'm sorry.
Wait,
like,
you not up with Star Wars?
Fuck that shit. The only reason why I know this word Harry Potter, the only fucking reason why is because I have a house dedicated to that shit, which is my wife and my daughter. Fuck all that nerd shit. That's that nerd shit right there. That's like...
Wait, but you know Stranger Things?
No, I don't. I just know the fucking dude with the fucked up teeth or whatever he fucking whistles or whatever that weird shit he does. I don't know. I just know he look like fucking dorks. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like
you
like
don't
that
know
old
Marvel?
School.
Nothing like that? You didn't have comic books?
I know Marvel, like I'll watch Marvel, but at the same time frame though, when people like, there's some people like, hey, did you know? I'm like, all right, man, like I don't know. I like anime. I'm into those things, right?
So do you know about anime? Like, if I ask you a question about certain anime character, like, you'll be able to be like, oh yeah, this.
I mean, yeah, like that's why if you go to my site, there'll be reference to certain things that are only like for people that watch it. for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like even this one's like an anime, so like of course people know who it is, and if you don't, I don't really like But man, like, but when people get into that Star Wars shit, like Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons, like they start going in that deep end. It's like, okay, you're on comic books, but these are action stars, so you're good. But the moment you start talking about Star Wars, you just like you could fall off a cliff really fast to fucking Dorkville. Yeah. Like it's really quick.
But I'll be honest with you, the Star Wars fan, honestly, like Marvel fans, we could talk about Spider-Man, Punisher, whatever, right? These Star Wars fans are so into it. They're real true fans.
Yeah.
Like if you say Obi-Wan Kenobi, you better know what episode he came out in. When did he start? Who he trained? Like they go into every detail about it, you know? And with Marvel is like, okay, I don't know when Punisher first came out. I know Punisher's a guy who gets revenge because they killed his family. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need to know. But these Star Wars fans they get geeked out by that stuff, man.
Yeah, is it Star Wars?
If you don't know, you're not a fan.
Yeah, and like Lord of the Rings. And I don't understand the Lord of the Rings because that movie is those movies are fucking boring. They're just walking the entire time. It's literally just walking. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like they just walked the entire movie. Then they ran for a little bit and they still walked some more. Like that's all it is. And it's like, I wish they would show you on a map. Like the guy was here and then he ended up here. But we made that into 5 fucking movies that were 3 hours long. And then he just dumps a ring.
No, but that's what killed me, that they were 5 hours long. Like you had to like tape your eyes open just to keep watching, because there were times that I'm like, is anything gonna happen?
Yeah,
you know. And like you said, they're just walking and talking.
The nasty ass
and they had
feet.
the dude from Rudy. He was the guy who played Rudy.
Yeah,
that dude's like 80 years old, and they're supposed to make him seem like he's just a young freaking hobbit. Oh my god.
That's the craziest shit about all that shit. Like you start watching that thing and you're just like, dude, how did you? And then you get these people. Have you ever seen those people? Like, what's it with Star Wars? Not Star Wars. Star Trek, where they start knowing like Klingon or whatever the fuck it is. Like know another language. They enter another realm of fucking dorks, man. Like that is so sad because
that's up here.
Yeah,
that's high level.
It's like, bro, could you learn like another language on Earth and then go try to get a girl from there? Like that increases your chances. Fucking dork went and learned a language nobody even knows about, and then you're gonna. What gets me the most is how pompous they act. Like they're so much better. Like I learned Klingon. Like you fucking dumb fuck. Like. You are like, I don't know. That's when I get like the 1980s like fucking jock and be like, you dork. Like,
yeah.
Even though younger people, they love being called dorks. I'm like, I don't think y'all don't have real bullies. Y'all don't have anybody giving y'all like a swirly or any of that shit. Y'all don't have anyone who just picks on you, which probably needs to happen.
If you think about it, that's what really made most of the 80s and 90s movies. Is the whole plot was you had a dork who couldn't get any girls. And then all of a sudden, he tries to take the one girl who's in love, who's the boyfriend is a jock, a popular kid, and then they go off like Batman and the Joker, you know, hero versus villain, and then the nerd gets the girl. It was a time for nerds to, you know, give them hope that, hey, we could get the hot girl.
Well, they fucking really won. Hard. They went to Silicon Valley and fucking killed it. Destroyed everybody.
That's true. They did.
You got fucking what's his nuts? Mark Zuckerberg looking like a fucking alien.
Yeah,
like that dork. That weird.
That dork, but he got everything.
Yeah, that motherfucker's like a small dictator right there. That motherfucker controls everything. Have you like? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying he's just evil. He looks like an evil genius. He looks like Lex Luthor, whatever that shit is, modern today, just with the hair. But he looks like a fucking alien.
But if you notice, he wears he wears like bum clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like sandals, shorts, t-shirt. He doesn't really care how he looks outside. I mean,
you know what? I think he does. I think he does on purpose.
So?
I think he's one of those people who's like, when he gets home, he's like, oh fuck these clothes, and he gets in, and he just hops into a suit. He's like, oh, fucking peasants. I hate having to act like I'm a regular person.
The photo op and everything else. Like, let them put me in the headlines.
They'll show like a picture of him like this on a t-shirt. Underneath it's like slacks with fucking $500 shoes. He gets on like these fucking peasants. Yeah, he's like, fucking peasants. I hate this shit. Dressing like an ordinary person.
When I was in Oklahoma, man, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, I used to, on night shifts, I used to work with the guys there Again, they're grown men, you know, mid-20s, somewhere in their 30s or whatnot. So on certain night shifts on the weekends, like on Saturday, because I used to start at 7 p.m., around 7:30, 8 o'clock, we had a phone outside. So you had to pick up the phone, identify yourself, and then depending on who you were and why you were there, we would buzz you in. You know, we would go out and get you to inside because we would consider a restricted area. So the phone rings and it's my other controllers. Is this guy, he's like in his mid-30s. Then comes in another dude who's like mid-20s, another dude mid-20s, and everything else. So I'm like, what the fuck are they all doing here? Like, what's going on? I know it's a Saturday, you know, it's a night shift or whatnot, but why are they here? And my junior controller looks at me and he's like, oh, nobody told you? And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, we're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, this guy had the whole board game, had everything, the cards, the dice. He basically was the narrator. He would read to you the scenario, and then you had to decide what action you were going to take and everything else. And I'm just sitting there looking at them. They all they make a big circle around the board game and everything else. And they're all just geeking out. They're getting pumped up, man. They're like, yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons. All right, who's your character? They're all like, oh, this is my character. No, that's my character. All right, who's going to roll first? Whoever gets the highest double goes first. This and this. And I'm just sitting there like, and they looked at me and they're like, Sergeant Divine, you want to play? And I was like, hell no. I was like, I ain't going to be playing no fucking Dungeons and Dragons. You crazy. And they were like, oh, forget you then. We'll play. Dude, they stood there all the way to like 1, 2 in the morning. Almost my whole night shift.
Yeah, don't
They
fucking pee
stood
on
there
themselves.
just playing.
I
I was close to being like, yo, since one of them was certified senior controller, I was going to be like, yo, just take my shift. If you're gonna be here the whole night, and I'll freaking go home. And then that's when they were like, okay, we're gonna leave. But dude, they were there till 1, 2 in the morning, man. I was like, how are you guys playing Dungeons and Dragons till 2 in the morning?
Yeah,
but there's people that love it, man.
Dude, that's what they would do
shit.
in Oki, man. So like a couple like military people would get together, like when they have a 3-day weekend, they'd be like, come over to the house. Like this one dude was married, you know, no kids. And so his wife was into it too, and they would just come over and they would just stay up. Like they would just get pizza, drinks, and from like the night, like let's say it was a Thursday, right? And Friday and Saturday and Monday was your 3-day. They would stay up the entire time and just fucking drink Mountain Dew and just like eat pizza and play like Dungeons and Dragons the entire and they would sleep over and they would just do it nonstop for like 3 days. And they'd be like, yeah, we do this every, like, once a quarter at least. And like, you know, they're kind of proud of it. And you're just like,
yeah.
Fucking dork,
dude. They wear that as a badge of honor,
dude,
man.
I almost gave the dude a wedgie and was like, dude, just for fucking shits and giggles, man, I just need to give you a wedgie so we just make sure there's balance in the universe right now, man. Yeah. You should not be proud of this shit.
But they get really excited.
They do, and they take it like a badge of honor. I stayed up, I drank 4 Mountain Dew, like 3 liters. You're like, dude, you're unhealthy as fuck, you little fucker.
Yo, and that's the highlight of the weekend. You know, I will be like, and you will be like, yo, we're going out, we're going to the bar, we're going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do something. But never once would I, even if I invited people over to my house, is to watch boxing fight or UFC fight, you know, your Super Bowl, like something. It would never be, hey guys, come on over and let's play fucking Dungeons and Dragons, dude. Let's fucking tear this shit down.
It's like, hey man, come play with my imaginary friends. Like, I'm fucking good, man. I'll go sit in a corner and play with my own imaginary friends. Fuck this shit. Like, what fucking weird. Like, but that's what I love about that shit. When I talk to those people, I love it because I'm so curious. Because I'm just like, it's such a weird word. Like, I know this one dude working in IT, man. You find some weird dude. Because he made good money. He would spend like $500 to $700 on figurines for anime stuff. And so he would get paid and he was living with his parents and just would go out and just buy it. He'd be like, yeah, I got like 3 or 4 of them. And so he had like an investment of them in a sense. Like, people are fucking weird, man. Yeah. But it's like, it's weird now that that's kind of like almost like being, you know, like I've gone to people's homes and you're like, dude, you're 40 years old and you got like your whole room's covered in anime and like, you know, there's no book. You're not reading no books. You're not like that. Like, I at some point, man, like, all jokes aside, at some fucking point, you got to be a fucking adult and be like, hey, man, we should probably start picking up a book or two about like economics or fucking we're in a fucking recession right now. Let's see how well the anime shit keeps you when we're doing a recession right now. Let's see how that goes for you, right? Like, it's mind boggling how we've almost like on purposely never got away from being a kid. We're like Peter Pans. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So recession. So yeah, you should definitely be scared right now.
Because I mean, I still have some GI Joes that I collected growing up. But hopefully someday to sell. See how much investment I could get off of them. Because my boy actually sent me a link that there's a antique toy store down in Dallas that collects those type of stuff, and they're willing to pay, you know, sort of thousands of dollars for them depending on the condition. Yeah. I know some people that still collect comic books just to keep them to sell. Yeah, you know, and make some money.
Pop things, you've seen those, right? Those are worth money. I knew some.
One of my buddies has a couple of like different ones, like He-Man and different ones that he collected. Yeah. Of the pop ones to hopefully one day sell as well.
Shit, there's people that buy them now.
Yeah. Because they sell. Like I told you when I was telling you about the MegaCon story, there was people buying the Super Nintendo games, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the PlayStation 1. Like they were buying old school shit where I'm over here I'm one of those that had those things, and as I outgrew it, I was like, all right, get rid of it because it's pointless. Everybody's moving on to PlayStation 2 and 3. I was like, there's no point in keeping this stuff. And now look, all of a sudden now they want $500 for a Super Mario Super Nintendo game, or they want $1,000 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. You know, just shit like that. Even some of my friends do the Pokemon stuff. The card collection of Pokemon's a card, and apparently, depending on what Pokemon character you get, it's worth money. You know, there's people who actually will auction and buy that type of stuff, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Those who just maintain it and just keep it because they want to keep it, those I don't understand. Like you said, if their room is covered up and all this shit and they're not willing to do anything else with it, like, I don't get it. That part to me, I don't understand. Now, I understand if you were buying it and then you turn around and you were selling it to make a profit from it because you know you could probably get more from it and somebody doesn't understand, then I see the point in that. But just to be a geek, to be like, fuck it, I just want it just to have it, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. That's how people are, I guess, like that. Like yeah, man, it's fucking weird, man. People are fucking weird at times of how they do things. Like, it's just doesn't make sense. Like, it really does.
But you're right. They need to pick up and read a book.
They do, man. You know, it's like, hey, man, that's cool and all, but you're fucking 40. You should probably buy some clothes, man. You should probably wear some slacks or some chinos or some kind of shit, man. You wouldn't be wearing jeans. But what's weird, though, if you look at the fashion, a lot of the same shit it's coming back. You know, all that shit's coming right back into it. And it's just like, it's fucking, like, it's even going back to what you were saying earlier about movies. Nothing today is fucking original. Everybody is like not even coming. Like, it's almost to a point now. If you want to be a screenwriter, just to say, okay, let me get something that's 20 years old and rewrite it for today, and then we might have a movie. Yep. Because there's hardly anything original, and even if it is original, it's kind of like, well, we've kind of that's already been told 7 times already.
But if you think about it, why you think all the old movies that we grew up watching are being remade now? Like, for example, Predator with the old school Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he fought that alien out. Now they're coming out with a new one where it's supposed to be different characters and whatnot, but it's still the same premise. There's aliens here, kills people, you got to try to kill the alien. They did the Terminator. They're coming out with a new Terminator. Halloween. How much longer can fucking Michael Myers stay living, killing people when he's been shot at, stabbed at, burnt, everything and anything that you could think of? The Jason movies, they took it to an extreme when they put that motherfucker in space. He was killing the astronauts in fucking outer space. And then Freddy Krueger was another one. And then they did Freddy versus Jason. Like, they still just keep remaking these movies. Sylvester Stallone and fucking Rambo. How much more can he do? Or even the fucking Rocky movies. This guy Rocky was like in everything. In every fight that you could think of, he's been everywhere doing it. But it's like their ideas are no longer original. That's why I like Jordan Peele. I don't know if you know Jordan Peele. He's from the show Key and Peele. He's the one that did the movie Get Out, Us, and whatnot. But he's coming out with a really new movie. It's a horror thriller. It's called Nope. and it's just really good about these aliens or whatnot. But it's kind of weird, but it's also good. But nobody's coming out with new original ideas, man. It's just like the same shit over and over. But unfortunately, you know, the fan base will still go and watch it. Prime example, fucking Top Gun. Okay, you seen the original?
Mm-hmm.
So the original Top Gun, to me, I was like, all right, it's cool, it was good or whatnot. But why, after so many years, did you have to come up with another Top Gun? Why? A lot of people say it was good. Like a majority of them say they went to go and see it because they saw the original, which is probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch it because I saw the original. But really, you had to come out. Come on, Tom Cruise, you could have done something else. You know what I'm saying? You have done some other better action movies and everything. Why the fuck you had to bring Top Gun back? And he's still the same rank after 30 years. He's still the same rank in the movie. Doesn't make any sense to me.